Anyhow, it was great to be outside. We just had one day outside, so we were able to work on our punting a little bit more, punt returners at the beginning of practice, so that was encouraging. I thought for the most part we threw the ball well. I saw Josh make a couple throws that, kind of raised my eyebrows that were encouraging. Brian's continuing to move around pretty well in the backfield. Still short a little bit in the defensive line. I think we're getting knocked around there a little bit too much. But we're continuing to add things. We did a pretty intense blitz pickup period today, and the defense won some of those reps, and the offense run some of the rest of them. So that was good. So we completed our week here. I think we're making progress, and we'll go into the next week.
I know you said you worked on the kicking game a lot, saw a lot with Ethan, and he's been around a lot. How have you liked him? I know you watch them very closely, so how do you like what do you see from him so far?
He's working on his precision punting and directional punting, and as opposed to just rugby punting, and so a little bit of a mixed bag. He's his own worst critic, so we're working on his drop and his tempo and things like that. He can turn the ball over well, but probably just need to be a little bit more consistent with where the ball's going, and his what he needs to be able to do is, when he punts a good one, be able to reflect on that and build on that. And so we're trying to be more consistent there. But overall, good.
You mentioned the D line. Where do you feel like guys like Carl Granderson and Kevin Prince, or those two in particular, are?
Well, they're making some plays when it's a finesse play. They've got really good speed and explosion. We're still a little bit light in the britches, so I think we're going to have to learn how to play some run fundamentals a little bit better. But it's a long time till our first game, but that's going to be an important portion for them to improve on.
I know when we talked before spring, you talked about Hollister a little bit, and you've had some very good tight ends in your coaching career, and I'd like to see that position maybe all-conference caliber.
Yeah.
Is Jacob, is he an all-conference caliber guy,
well,
or a potential to be an all-conference caliber guy?
I think there's certain aspects of his game. He runs well. He's got to learn to become a little bit more efficient at his route running, and he'll improve on that. And then, for us in our system, he's going to be a good blocker at the point of attack. And so each year he's gotten stronger, and it'll be important for him to take steps forward. We certainly are excited about what he's a senior. It's going to be important that maturity comes through for us.
In the defensive secondary, Marcus Epps obviously played a ton for you last year. Where is he at now? Is he on scholarship now?
No, we're looking at putting him on scholarship next fall, though.
Okay.
And we're not. You couldn't do it at mid-semester, but we'll do it next fall. And so he's worked hard. I think he's got a little bit faster. He's got good break on the football, and he's improved his tackling. I can also tell you this: I think Andrew Wingard has really improved, and those safeties are going to be important components of our defense.
I think having DJ May back at defense for a second year, a lot was made, the move, and didn't go through a lot of spring last year because he was recovering from injury. And you noticing a big difference just of his confidence or comfort level being back? I mean, he did some very good things for you last year, but have you seen a difference in him having a year under his belt, so to speak?
Well, certainly those reps have helped. You said last spring he was recovering from a knee injury, so he could do some non-contact work. And so for him to be out there right now, it's been encouraging. He's playing both Sam linebacker and nickel, so it's double training. But I think he's taken to that well, and he can run extremely well. What you'll see is if a run pops, a blur out of the backside of the screen, and it's usually DJ. So we're going to count on him a lot.
Where do you feel like you're at with the cornerback position, in particular Antonio Hall?
We're in a competitive situation between Antonio, CJ, Davion Freeman has done well, Robert Priester's played well, so we've got a battle with those guys right there. And every day somebody does some things a little bit better than somebody, so there is not a job locked up in that grouping.
Is it a relief to have depth a little more than you had last year?
Well, it certainly is, and there's some areas where we don't have as much depth as we want, but certainly in that back end, competition brings out the best, and so we're pleased with the depth we've got at corner.
So we're Conway at returning some punts. I know it's just the second practice, or any other things that are encouraging you, or what, observations after two practices.
He competes, and I talked to him. I said, is it your DNA to be a football player or basketball player? And I think he's enjoying his experience out there. And I'll visit with Coach Edwards here. We'll see where he's at, but he's certainly in the short amount of time, has shown some things that he's not a fish out of water. I mean, he's gone out there and he made a couple catches in contact. We're going to look at him as a return specialist as well.
Injury-wise, anything new, Craig? Everything
Ryan
good?
Cummings missed today with concussion.
It is a concussion.
Yeah, so he was not at practice today, but outside of that, I think we're okay. All right.
Thank